Do you feel like food is always on your mind and no matter what you do, you cannot stop thinking about it? If so, this is the video for you. I am Paul, I'm a coach and a best-selling author, and today's video is a personal journey of how I stopped the diet binge cycle. And the first thing I'm going to quickly say is that food is not the enemy. All my previous attempts at fat loss before the age of 25, 26 were forms of self-abuse. They were not attempts to nurture myself or to better myself in any way. This is going to sound a lot tidier than it actually was. This journey took me 18 months to 2 years to truly leave the diet binge cycle in the past. The first step for me was noticing that there were people in my circle that normalized harmful eating behaviors. I trained in a very hardcore bodybuilding gym, but a lot of people put a premium on their physique. They saw food through the lens of on the diet, off the diet, adherence and cheat days. And that was fine for them, but it wasn't who I wanted to be. The second thing I noticed, and you have to be honest with yourself, is overvaluing my body weight and shape really hampered the kind of way I want to live. If you need to be perfect with your calories and macros, that is a stepping stone to disordered eating. The third thing I did, I stopped dieting because I wanted to create a new normal. And the reason I did that is because of point number 4. I wanted to make peace with food by giving myself unconditional permission to eat. I noticed some interesting things over a long period of time. Stuff that I had put on an emotional pedestal wasn't anywhere near as delicious as I thought it was when I was convincing myself I couldn't eat it. Instead of seeing chocolate as bad, I started paying attention to which chocolate I liked and in what kind of quantities I would enjoy it. And some days I overdid it and some days I didn't have any. But what I was trying to do was build a new normal, because as you do, you are quietly becoming someone new in the background, which means things that once upon a time excited you or triggered you or that you wanted, they don't hold the same pull. And I think you cannot skip this step. I don't think you can skip any of these steps, to be honest, if you're getting out of the diet binge cycle. If you do not truly know that you can say yes from a place of calm, I don't think you can say no from a place of true control, from your own internal compass. So for me, unconditional permission to eat was getting to a place where, yes, I can eat anything I want. It doesn't mean I will, it means that I can. But I've seen this too in my practice with clients, where once unconditional permission to eat has been fully felt through, a lot of people don't know what they like. They'll go to the supermarket and they'll stare blankly at the chocolate aisle for a while, because now that they can have anything they want in whatever quantity they'd actually like, they don't know what they want to eat. Because when you're in denial that I won't have any, you are essentially just waiting for the floodgates to burst before you have all again. And this is why this step is so important. The next step is I fully accepted with all my heart that there would be bad body image days, and I didn't react to them. I stopped letting my mood impact my choices in the sense of they were no longer problems to fix. That's not the same as I need to rest, I'm going to take a spontaneous day off. That's a very different thing. I'm talking about I feel crap, I need to fix this feeling, maybe I need to eat, maybe I need to diet. That urgency faded away. The next step, I focused less on being lean and more on feeling good. My journey involved me gaining a bit of weight. When I was reconnecting with myself, I realized how deprived I had been, that I actually did enjoy eating a lot more food than I probably needed, and I gained body weight. But what happened was that food lost its novelty eventually. When I started eating things enough and they became normal, what happened was, for example, Christmas stopped feeling like a forbidden prize. I was able to overeat a little bit at Christmas without really making it mean more than it actually was. When I stopped demonizing foods in February or June, they no longer held the same emotional power on Easter or Christmas or my birthday or weddings. And these are the kind of things that will evoke the anxiety in you until you actually move through them with the new perspective. So let's say Christmas is coming up and you think, oh my goodness, this is where I always mess up. And then you have the first bite of selection box. You think, well, I have 90 days behind me of a little bit of chocolate. This is just chocolate in a different shape and form. It's normal. There's no longer that burst of intensity. It's actually quite calm. I always say to clients, you want to get to a place where a room temperature glass of water holds the same emotional pull as a cookie, even though you have them for different reasons. And the final step for me was learning to diet again using the principles that I teach in my book, Full. So this book I wrote about my coaching experience, it's about the things that get in the way of fat loss. It's the soft skills of change. If you become anti-fat loss, to me, that's just another way to let the obsession of fat loss control you. What I have come to learn is you cannot love what oppresses you. Meaning that if you feel fat loss or calorie control has some pull over you, that stays as another form of self-abuse. But when you act from a place of self-love, you can begin to lose body fat without it being a war. You can question your food rules. You can give yourself what you need. You can embrace tolerable hunger. You can say no to something now because you want to say yes to something more delicious later on. You realize how much of your food thoughts have been very binary, very anxiety ridden. Calmness can help you moderate your choices because it brings that sense of trust and satisfaction. So when fat loss became no longer a form of self-attack, that is when everything changed. There was setbacks, there was day-to-day blows, there was a lot of resilience needed. We all think when we get there, we'll be happy. And I think the insight truly is there is no there. So if you wake up today and you decide on day one of your journey, I'm going to be the most content, most calm, most compassionate, most happy person whilst I figure this out, I have no doubt you will achieve what you want to achieve eventually because the urgency has gone. As of this moment, it is January the 12th. So if you're sitting there after having that familiar feeling of needing to get all the chocolate out of the house to get started in the new year, hopefully this video finds you at the right time and you undertake a journey that fills your heart with more love and more peace and more presence, because I think that's what it comes down to. Remember, this journey is more about ending the war with yourself and finding peace with food and realizing it's not the enemy. And that's how all the good things happen. That's all for now. I'll talk to you all in the next video.